Hi. So, I'm going to finish this reading. I took a tangent. I also looked through some of my... Oh, my feather. It's flying. That was kind of awesome. Okay, so the word I was looking for in the last video was hermeticism or hermetics when I was doing the black and white thing. This is a book I got at the Cloisters, up the museum, almost to the Bronx, at the top of Manhattan, in the gift shop. I bought myself like $400 worth of birthday books last year. I'm such a nerd, but I really like these books. Okay, so I'm just going to show you quick before I get to the reading. I'm not going to go on a tangent, but this is like some, oh, this is lightness and darkness. Oh, this is interesting though, look. All right, so light, whether God wants or has lack of want, God is always good. There's always a dark and the light. Interesting how halfway through the halfway path, right, the light passes through the sun, through the dove, which is interesting because that's the connection between the higher spirit world and the inner sun of you, because the rays of the sun always point, and I'll show you in other things, towards the heart, so in. Okay, so, and see how that goes down through the actual physical sun we see, through the earth, and then shines its light down. Now there's another path this way. It's just a different path. Interesting how they have the nice pyramid triangle. You can go through that light. I guess through the pyramid would be the perspective of the rainbow, right? Or the perspective of that particular frequency of colors, and goes down towards what would be like a big pyramid of guys on the earth there, you see, right at the baseline, and then here. So you have, this is Apollo, and then the alter ego of Apollo is Dionysus here. All right, so light and dark. Let me show you one more thing. I totally didn't mean to get on a tangent. This is really interesting. Okay, so this one is capable of both this and that. This one is capable of both this chaos and darkness, and that, this lightness, right? So now look here, and look in the mind, connecting to the throat, to the heart, to the gut, to the root. There is a choice to go this way. You can get lost in here, and you can get lost in here. But you can be aware that you have a choice to possibly go a more direct route. Just interesting. The bottom says, choose, and what thou choosest shall be thine. Why not choose the most direct path? All right. So, lightness, darkness. Is there anything? Let me see. Quickly before I get to the reading, because I'm now wasting time again, because I went on my tangent. I did look at pictures of the sun and the moon, and they're not always the same size, by the way. But it does look like the sun is definitely closer. So maybe those degrees, you know, the pi number. Let me show you just some of these pages. So this is the moon. You can pause the video, take a look. Hopefully you can see this. This is the sun. And we got the sun here. In the Renaissance, the translations by Marcino Fellini, 1433 to 1499, of the Corpus Hermeticism revived the cult of the sun based on the ancient Egyptian mysteries, For Fusino, the sun embodied in descending or order, God, divine light, spiritual enlightenment, and physical warmth. In this illustration, fluid shows God placing his tabernacle in the sun at the beginning of the creation, and thus illuminating and breathing life into the entire cosmos. That is that picture. That is God's breathing. But God breathes. Are we on the in or the out breath? Okay, let's get to the reading. So, since I forgot about the word hermeticism, it just bothered me during the last reading. I just wanted to say that, and I couldn't think of it, and I was just continuing on, that I grabbed my Hermetic Tarot. I told you I have a lot of cards, so I know I was shuffling these before, but I had my thing just run out when I was shuffling, and I never pulled a card, and Manix has slept over the entire deck here, and they're pretty much all upright and all over the place. So I'm gonna bring some clarity here to the Three of Air, which I do understand this is different in other decks, by the way. I'm just sort of taking my interpretation and messages that I get from the messages on these specific cards and interpretation, which happened to be sexy. So sorry, that was like a really weird scientific artsy fartsy tarot. I don't know. I told you this channel would be weird, guys. You know, I totally, you want to make it weird? I should show you this. Do you know in the last video when I said I took a hike with my dad in the park? I told you this is going to be weird. You might as well know who I am, right? So when I found this awesome feather, oh, it's so beautiful. So at least this time when I went on a hike, I remembered to bring my machete. Because last time I didn't have this, and if you go in the woods, you do actually sometimes need to know how to take care of yourself. Okay! So, speaking of knives, in the tarot, the knives or the swords are mental clarity. They are slashing through truth and cutting off bullshit. So, let's look at that machete as a symbol for this reading. Why don't we? Since it was right there and it came to my mind. I just understand that anyone who's watching this video who grew up with me knows that is just me and completely normal. And I know they're not questioning that at all. So if you think that's weird, you probably didn't grow up where I did. All right, so let's have some clarity with the Hermetic, and these are also like black and white. So they're based on Hermeticism and alchemy and all of these like awesome old pictures and stuff and theories. And let's just see what the symbols say before I ramble. Okay, so let's clarify. I was saying swords. So what swords do, what is a knife? A knife can be dangerous, and it can be deadly, or it can be helpful if it's used right. It can create things and cut things, and you know, you can make a basket, or you can do tannering on an animal, or you could do surgery on your brain. There's so many things you can do. You can chop down some wood and then use it for energy, or it could be harmful. If you're going to use a tool like that, you want to know what you're doing. You don't want to not know what you're doing, because then it just turns against you. So take a tool that could possibly be dangerous and see how you could be responsible with it and get the training you need with it, and or sometimes just apprenticeship with it and experience with it so it's used correctly, and it can be a magical thing. It can be saving everything. And I'm on 10 minutes of talking about swords and machetes. So let's pull some cards. So I am going to have probably a part 3. So all of you who like long readings and girls who ramble about random subject matters during them, welcome to my channel. Welcome. It's very late. And I should probably be in bed, but I took a nap, so now I'm not tired. Okay, so let's clarify these 3 cards. It's greatest good to everyone involved. Bring more clarity. Listen to your own inner guidance. Sometimes maybe I won't even get into the cards, but maybe I'll say something that's meaningful to you. So, you know, let's open our minds up a little bit. Maybe all this useful information that I overload into my brain can spew out its files at the right places and people and time, perhaps. I don't even need to know about it, as long as it goes out there and it's helpful to us. Okay, so the Lord of Prudence is on top of the 3 of air. The 2 of Swords is on top of Prince Charming, and the 4 of Swords is on top of the High Priestess. Okay, so let me pull these 2. This is also a very symbolic Christian-based deck, the Lorimer. Let's just get some symbols going. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, and 3. The bottom of the deck is the Child. So this is being able to open up your storybook, having its blank page there, and imagining exactly what your life should be. Or it's literally a child in your life. Or you maybe are acting like a child. But it's having that. Either way, it's understanding the part of a child that is able to imagine the world as they want it to be. When I was little, I used to want to be a mermaid. I was determined to figure out a way for people to just stay under the water longer than we do now. And I had a secret code with my friends, so when we were swimming in the pool, we would do the mermaid. We always made her brother be the shark. But it was magical, and when I was diving into the pool, I believed that. So what did you believe as a kid that you thought maybe it wasn't true? Maybe open your page up and let that blank page become something more magical than what you thought you could have as a child. That wide, starry-eyed energy. Okay, that's the base. This is going to have a part 3. Hope you like these readings. I think like half of the people made it to part 2 of my other one, so we'll see how this works out. All right. On top of the 8 of Pentacles, we have the Birch Whip. Okay. Or let's say under, something's under the 2 of Swords, which is under Prince Charming, we've got this. It's like Mary, Jesus, the cross, sacrifice, the stained glass windows from behind, and the sun piercing through. And then, so we have 11, this is number 11, number 36, and this is number 6, and this is the clouds. So there's a dark side and a light side. And there's that moment in between. There's the storm that comes and shocks you, could possibly tear the trees down, but then there can be new growth, right? Like when I was hiking with my dad, and like literally 5 years ago, there weren't trees on that path, and now there's trees, so new growth. It's going to be a part 3. Here we go. See you soon.